Dear farmers, welcome to Soul of Krishi. We are going to present you something about monsoon rains and pomegranate wilt. This year, rainy season has already started. Some parts have already received one or two heavy rains. Other parts may get rains after Udagi festival. This season is particularly important for pomegranate because during this season the wilt disease starts and spreads. In pomegranate, today wilt is becoming more dangerous than bacterial nodal blight and anthracnose. It is affecting more than 50% of the orchards in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. It is very common on red soils. Wilt disease starts at any stage of the crop from planting time to any stage of the tree, but more in plants that have attained some size and maturity. Wilt affected trees may die very fast or may die slowly. This is because two different types of wilts are affecting pomegranate. One kills very fast and the other kills very slowly. Farmers generally think wilt is one disease and is small and is same in all farmers' field. But farmers must know that there are different types of wilt diseases. They are caused for different reasons. It may be due to fungal infection, it may be bacterial infection, insect boring, or even the nematodes, which affect the roots and to cause slow wilt disease. In all these wilting diseases, the plant shows similar symptoms, hence, farmers are confused. Because of this, one chemical cannot control all types of wilting diseases. Utilizing this weakness, the so-called consultants, dealers and plant doctors are looting the farmers by recommending large number of chemicals and in huge quantities. Farmers fail to control the wilt despite using several chemicals because these chemicals are not targeting the cause of the disease. Therefore, farmers must know what is causing the wilt in their orchards. For example, take the case of a tree wilting due to lack of water. If you spray any chemicals to correct this, it will never get corrected unless you water the tree. Just like that, if wilt is due to fungus infection, then insecticide spray will not cure it. And if bacterial wilt is there, fungicides or insecticides do not cure them. Therefore, identifying the cause of the wilt is the first step in controlling the wilt disease. Farmers must first observe the entire orchard and regularly keep looking for symptoms of wilting. In an orchard, the entire orchard does not show wilting symptoms at once. Isolated trees randomly across different locations in the orchard start showing symptoms, and by the time the tree fully succumbs to the disease, the surrounding trees start expressing these symptoms in a circular expansion. The very first symptom farmers can see is one or two branches or on whole plant yellowing of all the leaves at a time. The yellowing of leaves starts from the top and with time the entire branch becomes yellow. The leaves show drooping symptoms followed by yellowing and drooping of foliage of the entire tree and starts shedding from the tip and progress towards the base. If only wilt is the cause, then the fallen leaves are papery and generally without any brown or black spots. The twigs and the stem growth completely ceases by the time the adjacent tree starts expressing symptoms. It means the disease is spreading to other adjacent trees. The complete wilting process may vary from a few weeks to few months or even a year depending upon the causal agent. In some orchards, sudden senescing of entire tree is noticed and the entire tree show absolutely dry appearance like a winter deciduous tree. When the wilting occurs suddenly, some dried foliage remain attached to the trees. Sometimes dieback of twigs and branches lead to production of suckers from the base of or on the branches. In all cases, generally the fruit on the tree, big or small, remain attached to the tree and do not fall down. When a wilting plant is seen, you should first try to find out the reason for the wilt and do not rush to use chemicals to control the disease. You should sit near the wilting tree and carefully observe the tree to find out why the tree is wilting. When you sit below the tree, first see that healthy stems and diseased wilting stems are seen adjacent to each other in the same tree. It is very common in fungal and bacterial wilting. Then see if there is water stagnation near the tree trunk. If water stagnation is seen or the soil is wet for long period, then try to observe the region between stem and root just below the soil. You may dig out some depth and see whether the root is showing any disease symptoms. If you see any dark brown or black color and the stem rotting, then it is either fungal or bacterial wilt. You may see a single stem with black color and showing wilting and the other adjacent stems growing normally. If it is caused by fungus, then you will see vertical cracking of root. Lower branches and stem bark also you can see the symptoms. You may pull out the diseased stem easily. Pull out and split the stem and root portion lengthwise and observe the color. It may be dark reddish brown to purple deep brown or black streaks or brown streaks or light dirty yellow streak along the length of the root. And it means the fungus has blocked the water flow to the tree and the tree is wilting. This can spread via infected seedlings, irrigation water, rainwater, root contact, insects and implements, pruning and budding tools. If you see only the root bark is black at several places on the root or a large necrotic patch on the root, then try to peel off the bark and see. If the bark is easily peeled off from the root and the inside root appears healthy, and if you split the root and stem, then you will not see any color change inside, then it is bacterial wilt. Such bacterial wilt affected trees show initial yellowing and drooping of plant leaves on one or two branches, followed by leaf fall and wilting of the affected branches. Subsequently, the same type of symptoms appear on the other branches, leading to its death. The entire plant wilts within a period of 2 to 3 months. After this stage, there is no recovery of the wilted plants. After this, look for the pinholes on the stem and roots. If you see number of pinholes on stem or on roots just below the ground, then look for whitish powder coming out of such holes and see the powder on the ground. If you see, then the wilting is caused due to short hole borers. In such trees, a lateral branch will be showing mild yellowing. Drying of such branches takes little time for the whole tree to turn yellow. You will also see heavy bearing in such trees. Typically, you see a stretch of trees dying at a time and it spreads very fast as insects multiply very fast. If the holes are bigger, then grubs dig holes on bark of main stem to feed on sapwood from inside. Holes on bark or of main stems, excreta and dirty powdered material are usually seen near the base of plants. The trees show wilting symptoms. If these symptoms are not there, then expose the roots further and see the roots properly. If none of these symptoms are seen, or along with the symptoms, if you see galls or knots on the roots and root necrosis, then the problem may be nematode attack. Such trees appear sickling, very poor growth of trees, and there will be no flowering on such trees. Root knot nematodes also cause slow wilting in pomegranate. Now let us see how to manage these wilt diseases. Farmers must manage the health of the soil to manage the wilt disease. They should apply sufficient amount of organic manure and maintain soil pH and drainage. In wilt diseases, soil pH management is very crucial. In red soils where the soil is acidic, if the wilt is due to fungus infection, then we must increase the pH of the soil by applying lime. Normally, half a kg of lime powder is applied in the basin and mix well with the soil and irrigate it. In black soils or soils having pH above 7, then it is bacterial wilt that is common. Once the soil pH is adjusted with lime, then we must apply Arca Actino Plus and Arca Microbial Consortium, the two cultures developed by Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, Bangalore, to suppress the disease-causing microorganisms. This is done by drenching the soil with 50 grams of Arca Actino Plus 10 days after the lime application. After another 10 days, drench the soil with 35 ml of Arca Microbial Consortium per tree. These two cultures suppress the soil bacterial and fungal wilt-causing organisms. It is also advised to inoculate the trees with mycorrhizal cultures. These mycorrhizal fungi produce a variety of antibiotics and other toxins that act against wilt pathogens. It also enhances the nutrient supply to the trees, make trees to tolerate or resist wilt disease-causing organisms. Avoid excess nitrogen application as this will increase the severity of the wilting diseases. There are several practices followed by farmers which are not scientifically permitted and responsible for spreading the orchards to diseases. These are: number 1, pomegranate is highly susceptible to humidity exceeding 50%. Therefore, the crop is not suitable for ultra-high density planting and sufficient spacing should be given in such a way that there is good air circulation in the orchard. Farmers in many places are following closer spacing than the recommended spacing between the plants and between the rows, leading to buildup of humidity in the canopy. Spread of diseases through planting material is very common. Tissue culture plants are generally weaker than the plants produced through cuttings, layering or other asexual methods. Therefore, growers must pay maximum attention to the health of the seedlings before bringing them from the nurseries. In the lure to get quick returns, farmers do not allow plants to mature and get ready for cropping. Many farmers are taking up bahars, that is for going for fruits, for crop even after 12 months after planting. As a result, the plants cannot fight the diseases naturally and become susceptible to disease attack. Between two bahars, there is need to provide sufficient rest to the trees to recoup its losses during the fruiting period. Due to lack of knowledge or misguidance by the so-called consultants and plant doctors, or in the lure to make quick money by those farmers who take the land on lease to grow pomegranate, do not give any rest period for allowing the trees to recoup and immediately go for the next bahar, that is the crop. It has also been seen that the farmers whose gardens are badly infected with diseases, and when they learn that they cannot harvest profitably, then they remove all fruits and immediately go for the next bahar by spraying ethyl. Orchard sanitation in pomegranate gardens is as important as sanitation practices in human beings to control corona and other diseases. Growers are unaware of this very important aspect of preventing the diseases. This awareness has to be created in farmers to prevent the spread of the diseases. Many new farmers have entered the field to grow pomegranate. Such many new farmers are not trained in pomegranate pruning and canopy management. Any wrong pruning time and method leads to the rapid spread of diseases. Balanced fertilization has taken a back seat in pomegranate. There is a tendency to apply very high level of nutrients, particularly nitrogen and potash. Micronutrient supply is highly unscientific in pomegranate orchards, leading to a high degree of nutrient imbalance. Differential demand for nutrients at different growth stages are ignored. This is mainly due to the wrong advice by the so-called consultants and dealers to push their products. All these practices predisposes the plants to attack by the pathogens. Many times, insects are responsible for the transmission and spread of diseases. Farmers generally do not have this knowledge. If timely control measures are not taken up then this leads to a rapid spread of the diseases. Many farmers also fail to carry out diagnosis of the disease properly. As a consequence, for bacterial diseases, fungicides and insecticides are sprayed, and for fungal diseases, antibiotics and insecticides are sprayed. This ultimately fails to control the disease, and growers undertake frequent unnecessary spraying, spending lot of money. One of the most important predisposing factor which goes unnoticed by the farmers and administrators is the faulty marketing system of input supply. Pomegranate farming is now completely dominated by the total system of agriculture production under the control of input dealers, fake consultants, and the so-called plant doctors who frequently visit the gardens to push their agenda, and a few oligopolies who sell farmers their inputs and buy their outputs and control their conditions of production. For better management of these diseases, the line department must take measures to prevent these kind of misuse and wrong advices to the farmers. Farmers facing wilt disease problems must follow these suggestions what I have suggested and manage the disease at minimal cost. For any further information, you may contact solafkrishi.com or call 944-981-6282. Again I repeat 944-981-6282. Thank you. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.